Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Drama Hospital recap. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos or recaps. So at the Metro Court, Carly, Sonny, and Michael are having what I can only assume is lunch. And they tell Michael that they had Morgan committed to the Friedman Clinic and how hard that decision was. Jason comes in, he tells them he's leaving and finding a place of his own. Ah, Jason, such a kidder, right? So Jason tells them that Sam caught him up on everything and he's there if they ever need anything. And Michael heads out to talk to Felix, knowing there's going to be no update or no, workable update on Sabrina. Sonny gets up and Jason comments on it. He says how appreciative he and Sam are for what he did, for Christina and just in general. And Sonny says he wishes Jason was there. Maybe he could have helped. So Jason tells Carly that he's really not looking to work for Sonny again. And Carly's like, I support that decision. And then tells him about the talk she and Sonny had about, his shift in how he's going to handle things and not escalate the violence. So Jason asks why she feels guilty for distancing him from the Quartermains, and he also asks how she wound up having a baby with his brother. So she tells him how he had her back, and she was able to keep Michael, and just all that backstory. So I don't think I ever knew where the name Morgan came from. So I'm sure plenty of you do, and you're like, oh, you didn't know that? No, I didn't. So that's Lila's maiden name, and it was his middle name. He was Jason Morgan Quartermain, and then he dropped the Quartermain. I did not know that. It's probably something I should have known, but I didn't. At the float, oh, not yet. So Carly tells him that there's a plaque in the Quartermain crypt with his name on it, and they're going to see if it's been taken down. At the Floating Rib, Griffin is having lunch there, and the waitress kind of asks him out, and he's interested in a woman, but not the way she's thinking. And Griffin is kind of watching at another table where Anna is, and Paul sits down. Amazingly, he didn't tell her he spoke to Carlos. Who could have imagined, right? And he gives her the immunity deal and says he cares about what she thinks. Yeah, I'm sure you do. So Griffin and Felix run into each other, literally, and Felix tells him how much the nurses appreciate him. Like, he actually cares to learn their names and not just kind of use them as scapegoats if, he makes a mistake or anything like that. And they bond over Dr. Mays and his arrogance, needless to say. And Felix recommends that he talk to Monica if he wants to kind of override Dr. Mays or go around him, because nobody says no to Monica. And later at the Floating Rib, Felix and Michael meet up, and Felix shows Michael a picture of the baby, and he tells him about the letter Sabrina sent, basically saying she's happy and she's not coming back. And Michael's happy if she's happy. He's sad, but he's happy. At Anna's place, which I love her place, right? So Anna's looking at a picture of Carlos and maybe Sabrina. It's totally Sabrina, but for the sake, we're like, oh, maybe Sabrina. And Sonny shows up at the door. Ooh, go figure. So Sonny thanks her for attempting to warn him about the pier, and he also asks why she thought he would trust what she said or even listen to her. And then Sonny kind of fakes pain, and Anna leaves to get him a glass of water or something. And he looks at the Carlos picture and asks when it was taken and if Carlos is alive. Ooh. And Anna totally meant for that to happen. Anyway, so Sonny asks her more questions, and he asks if that's Sabrina with Carlos, and Anna says yes, and we believe that Sabrina chose to be with Carlos. So Sonny's decided he's going to hunt Carlos down and kill him. Yes. He's totally evolved from his conversation with Carly, right? So Anna would appreciate any help Sonny could provide helping track down Carlos, but he needs to be brought in alive. And because she wants Julian, and Sonny wants Julian because he wants justice for Duke. So she wants Sonny to keep her in the loop, and she'll do the same, and they shake on it. Ooh, I'm kind of loving this. Are you loving this? Because I'm loving this. Paul and Carlos are on the phone together. Paul tells Carlos to come home because it's his only choice. And Carlos isn't keen on coming back because, why would he? He's, free and clear now. Still in hiding, but free and clear for the most part. And, of course, Paul drags Sabrina and the baby into it. And Paul says that he can have immunity for Carlos if he comes in. Will he take him up on it? We'll see later. At the Quartermain crypt, Tracy is visiting the family, and she says she's not ready to join them. She even misses AJ, and it's not as fun when it's only Monica to pick on, and she makes sure to exclude Lila from any negative or Quartermainy things that she includes everyone else in, and she tells Lila she could feel the lesions in her brain and she can hear them ticking down, and Dylan comes in, so he asks what she's doing there, and she wants to say, I didn't realize we were playing 20 questions, but she can't get it out. And then when he says that they should go inside, she gets really confused and has another seizure. At the hospital, Tracy isn't answering the hospital's calls, and she's scheduled for a biopsy. Wonder why. And Griffin catches up with Monica and wants to run a theory by her, and she gives him access to Tracy's scans and all. So Tracy is brought in, and Dylan asks Griffin what's going on, and he mentions he's like, oh, she was going back on the depressants that she had gone off of, and she wasn't supposed to have another seizure. And Griffin's like, what are you talking about, antidepressants? And then Dylan's like, okay, so obviously Tracy lied, so what's really going on? For some reason, Minneapolis, Minnesota is calling me, but not really. Anyway, I'll tell you about that later. So Dr. Mays questions why Griffin is talking to Dylan. I don't know, maybe because you weren't here, and poor Dylan is confused about what's happening to his mother. And Dr. Mays takes Dylan aside and he goes, I know the word cancer is scary. And Dylan's like, wait, what? Who said anything about cancer? She had what? And I'm like, yeah, good one. Good. See, that's what happens when you care more about your ego and less about the actual patient you're helping. Anyway, as someone who has suffered from bad bedside manner of doctors, and good, but bad too. And the bad is always really bad, right? There's no in between. There's no, mediocre. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, so, Dylan doesn't know what to do next. He wants to call Ned, and Griffin has to speak to Dr. Mays privately. And he's telling the doctor that he's misleading the patient because it may not be cancer. And Griffin personally doesn't think it's cancer, and he thinks Dr. Mays' experience and background isn't allowing him to look at this specific case. Anyway, Tracy had a vulnerable moment with Monica and Dylan in the room, and she asked Monica if she's gonna die, and that's a side of Tracy we do not see a lot, especially around Monica. So Dr. Mays lectures Griffin because that's totally how that should be happening. And Dylan overhears the confrontation, and Dylan asks for Griffin's opinion, but Dr. Mays sends him away. He can't be bothered. He's the only doctor. Get a life. And now end scene. So Carly brings Jason to the crypt. He sees his plaque and is kind of weirded out by it, as we all would be. Could you imagine? And she tells him about the other family members, and he wants to move forward with his life and not look backward, and to get the plaque down because it is really creepy. So they get some tools, and he takes the plaque down, and he may come back to the crypt after they leave just because it's a good place to think. Paul tells Carlos the specifics of the immunity deal, and Paul keeps bringing Sabrina and the baby into it, and Carlos isn't going to come back to Port Charles, and I don't think that's the worst idea, because even if he's not going to get anything from the cops, Sonny's going to straight up kill him, and he knows that. Anyway, so Sonny sits at the table with Michael at the floating rib. And Michael was under the impression that he was at the Friedman Clinic, I believe. So Michael wonders if he had showed a little more compassion, if Sabrina would still be in Port Charles and they would be raising the baby together. And Sonny's like, Michael, I need to tell you something. Is he going to tell him? What could it be? If he tells him, he's kind of including Michael in the business. And I have to say, the little bit we got to see Michael in the Corinthos business, I wasn't hating it, I wasn't. I liked him as much in the Quartermain role. I'm just saying, they need to put him somewhere so we could see, because he shines, Anyway, so Dylan asks Tracy if she wants him to call Ned, and she says no. And Dylan wants to talk to Dr. Monroe, and I doubt he's going to not call Ned, you know? Griffin is at Anna's door and accidentally startles her, and he admits he's been following her. Dun dun dun. So it's the. Thank you, Woofers, for snoring. I don't know if you heard that, but Woofers has decided that he's gonna wait till the last line of the video to snore. Anyway, so it is the middle of the week, so if you have an idea of who you think should be character of the week, start keeping it in mind. And if you want to vote in this video, you can, or wait till Friday. Doesn't matter. I just count them all up on Monday anyway. But in any event, I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital. Oh, real fast. I started a Twitter specifically for my Etsy shop. It's new today, and I'm following everyone back. So if you want to go follow it, it would mean a lot to me. Thank you. But in any event, I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.